Welcome to Part 2 in 3D Certification, 3D Printing Terminology. In this lesson, we will discuss the most common 3D printing terms and definitions that you will likely come across. This very simplified diagram shows the basic components of a 3D printer. The extruder melts the plastic in a pattern of movements layer by layer. The plastic prints directly onto the build plate, or bed, which is the moving platform that slowly lowers itself as the object prints taller and taller. Filament refers to the plastic used for 3D printing. Filament is wound around a spool that is fed through the extruder of a 3D printer. All of our 3D printers at VPL print in this PLA plastic, which is a safe, renewable resource that does not require ventilation to print. It comes in a wide range of colors.
Slicer software is mandatory in the 3D printing process. It essentially takes a 3D file and converts it to specific instructions that your printer can understand and then print out. It tells the printer what geometric paths to follow, what speeds to print at for various points, and the thickness of the layers. When using our Slicer software in the library to prepare your file, you will find out how long the print will take and how many grams it'll be, which will determine your final cost.
A raft is a horizontal layer of PLA plastic that sits below your object as it prints. It helps to avoid warping and bending, improves adhesion, and helps to stabilize small objects onto the printing bed. Your completed 3D printed item will most likely have a raft attached to it when you pick it up. You can easily remove this yourself, although it sometimes may require pliers, especially for smaller or delicate objects. Supports work like scaffolding. They provide support for overhang angles of more than 45 degrees during your print job. They are very thin plastic structures that are then easily ripped off and discarded after a print is complete. Supports can affect the quality of your print and also add more material and cost to the total print. To reduce the number of supports required, you can split items into different parts or change the angle that they sit on the build plate.
Infill refers to the structure printed inside of an object. 3D printed objects are not solid nor hollow on the inside. Although many geometric patterns can be used, a honeycomb mesh on the interior is the most common. This helps to reduce the amount of plastic required while also providing enough strength and support for the item. The denser the infill, the higher the quality of the print. However, the print will be more costly and will take longer. The most common infill rate is 15 to 20%. This is the default rate used in the library slicing software. If you need to change the rate of infill on your print, for example, if your job is too large and needs to print faster, you can change the rate with staff permission. Resolution or layer height refers to the thickness of each layer in a 3D printed object. The lower the resolution, the better the quality. The most common default resolution used is 0.15 millimeter. This will be the default in the library slicer software. With staff permission, you can change the layer height. The higher the number, the faster the item will print, but the lower the quality.
To recap this lesson, we learned that PLA is the filament used in all of Vaughan Public Libraries 3D printers. The extruder is the part of the printer that melts the plastic or filament, and a raft is the piece of the print that adheres to the build plate while your item prints. Supports help to scaffold your object while it prints, and an increase in infill means an increase in quality, but also cost and the material required. To continue in the next lesson in 3D certification, click on Tips and Common Problems.